Thank you so much for coming through tonight on Game On. It's an absolute pleasure to see you. What is the idea behind this? Now, everybody seems to be a world record, wants to be a Guinness World Record holder as well. Are we going to be looking at, do we need to start putting George Essien, Guinness World Record holder, behind your name anytime soon?
Well, good evening, Tunde, and good evening, everyone. We've been doing this for many years, and I'm actually marking a milestone on radio now, which is about 20 years, So I decided that how am I going to celebrate 20 years on radio? Let's hit up the Guinness World Records and see which records are available on radio. I saw a number of them, and this one actually resonated with me, longest talk show on radio the record is at 88 hours. So I decided to put it up to 100 hours. You know how these things go. We know the chopping of hours and all of that. That record of 88 hours was set in 2017 by a Japanese. Before then it was 57 hours. So if not for the Japanese, I would have just been gunning for 60 hours, but I need to push, for the 40 right now. So it's a way of celebrating, marking my milestone on radio, and also a way to also encourage, young broadcasters. These days where radio is, traditional media is battling with social media, even you're losing touch and respect for radio, even though radio still remains the most popular form of medium of communication and mass communication. But radio still is suffering and battling in that space, and dragging all the attention to radio in this 100 hours, that's 4 days plus. I think it's going to help. Also I'm hoping to give back to radio what radio has given to me since in 2005. I think it was largely because of radio. I've been able to travel the world, 16 countries and counting. And I've been able to win, awards and things like that. I've been able to put food on my table, for me and my family. So giving back to radio, just upholding the profession itself and making it very glamorous for the young ones that are coming, and also to show the can-do spirit of Akwa Ibom.
There you go. I was waiting for that this morning. But Oye actually has a question for you, actually. Oye?
Yeah, George, good to see you. I want to ask you your training regime, because what you're about to do is there's no mean feat.
100 hours.
100 hours. It's not a child's play. It's not a stroll in the park. So I want to know your training regime. Some people will say broadcasters, they like to eat rogbo, that's bitter cola. They like to eat banana. They like to take honey and all that. What have you been doing to prepare yourself, mentally for
and
the physically for the task ahead?
Obviously, I don't think there's anything you can do physically enough, for this. But I do know that I've been training very hard at that, and I've also been, making sure that my food is well structured. I eat vegetables, take a lot of fruits, as it would be, for vitamins, for proteins, a lot of eggs. In fact, I left the gym just about an hour ago. I'm forced to do it right now. I have no choice. But more important, from the past winner and the past attempters I have, spoken to and I had on my team. I have actually some of them on my team.
Okay.
The winner of the recording marathon, his name is Iniabasi Essien. He's actually from my village, interestingly.
Okay.
But he set that record in Lagos, and he talked to me a lot about, it's going to be mental. It's a mental thing, more of even, a physical thing. The human body is wired for 24 hours. After 24 hours, sleep comes like that in a bullion van. I like saying that. But you're awake. It's seeing people around. It's just knowing that people are there and cheering you on.
So George, sorry to cut you short. So how exactly is this going to pan out? Because I want to know, are you going to sit down straight for 100 hours? Will you be allowed to take a break? Will you be allowed to eat or drink? Would you be allowed to do push-ups? How is this going to pan out? Are you going to sit down straight in front of a microphone and just talk for 100 hours?
It's not going to be a straight 100 hours. The rules, marathon rules for Guinness World Record stipulates that you rest every five minutes in every hour. You know, so you can accumulate those 5. So if you sit down straight for 4 hours, you could rest for 20 minutes. If you sit down straight for 6 hours, you could rest for 30 minutes. It depends on you, how you want to accumulate it. But the very good thing about this record is that I'm interactive. It's a talk show. I'm not talking alone. I'm going to be talking with people who would, you know. And before every 5 minutes, I need to interject at least 5 minutes. And specifically, you can also play commercials. Okay. And you can also take the news, which must not be taken by you. It's taken by any station personnel. So the regular broadcast goes on, but except that there's material. So I cannot be tired and play a song. That's out of it. Okay. You know, you can't play any pre-recorded material. Everything has to be fresh. So I've lined up 100 guests for 100 hours just to be safe. I'm still in the process of, you know, the lists. I think I've reached about 70 now. Obviously, my team. This is the final week. We're starting on. The team is working extra hard to ensure that they compile the list of 100. Okay, so are you going to be speaking so we have just strictly sports? Is it strictly sports or other things as well? Sports. I'm dedicating just about maybe 16, 18 hours to sports, 16, or 20 hours, let's say, to sports. There's health, there's politics, you know, some of the things I've learned to start talking after talking sports. I mean, I talk politics now, Tunde, in case you don't know. You know, I talk. Senator George Essien. I do programs on radio in Akwa Ibom, by the way. It's called Issues in a New Current Affairs program. So I'm going to be talking about all the things that I've managed to talk about in my 20 years on radio, bringing them to the fore, bringing quality guests. I've lined up the chairman of the National Sports Commission to speak with me for at least an hour about the RINS initiative and you know, all of that. Some people don't know what it is. You know, so we've lined up communicators, we've lined up health professionals as well to talk about immunization. We're also going to talk about life after football, lining up Shegun Odegbami, Victor Ipeba, and of course Mutu Adepoju to talk about life after football. And, you know, also look what has happened to some of their ex-teammates, you know, while they are, you know, seem to be thriving, what happened to the rest of them. So they are very important topics that we have lined up. And so it's not just about the endurance and how long George is going to stay on radio. We hope to make an impact in this 100 hours, talk about very critical issues that the whole country and the world will be hooked up to and would really, really enjoy. And so help me God, you know, I have no choice. Like my bosses here say, you have to go because we already have billboards out, you know, you know. We have advertorials everywhere. Akwa Ibom is buzzing at this audacious attempt by Mighty George, and I'm just praying and hoping that I'm not going to let them down. I hope I'm not going to let them down. I know as a matter of fact that you will not let them down because we here on Game On, we're rooting for you. I would want to wish you all the very best. George Essien, Mighty George Essien. I'm hoping that after 100 hours, you can say what a rush it was breaking Guinness World Record. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on Game On. It's an absolute pleasure to have you, my friend, and all the best in your attempt.